for 5 years. You made life in that small room, that prison. Did you ever think you would be free? I hoped.
Jack, listen to me. This is our chance.
I'm scared.
I know.
You have no idea what's going on in my head.
Yeah, well, try me.
I know.
Truck, wiggle out, jump, run, somebody.
You're gonna love it.
What?
The world.
Watch a mother and her son struggle to survive in Room, where freedom is fought for, not granted. 3 words to sum it up: trapped, protected, reborn. I'll break it down, uncover the hidden symbolism behind their journey, drop some flick facts, and tell you if Room is worth your time. The film opens with Ma and her son Jack, who turns 5 and celebrates inside their tiny locked room, unaware he was born into captivity by the man who still holds them prisoner. He greets the objects around him,
Good morning, plant. Good morning, sink.
even though they live in a very cramped place. Joy always tries to make their lives feel normal, like the people outside. She and Jack stretch together every morning, clean the room, and keep themselves busy. They must do whatever it takes to fight the boredom, because no matter how hard they call for help, no one can hear them since the room is far from any settlement and was made soundproof by the kidnapper. The only window is a skylight facing the sky, and it is tightly locked. Innocently, Jack says that he and his mother shout to the aliens in the sky, but the aliens never hear them. Joy only smiles softly at Jack's innocent face. When Joy was pregnant with Jack, she was not allowed to leave the room until she gave birth, and now Jack is 5 years old. All their basic needs are provided by Jack's biological father, including pain medication, even though it is cheap. Strangely, old Nick, as the kidnapper is called, always comes to Joy's room at night, only to satisfy his desires. What is worse is that Joy is not allowed to look at him when he opens the coded door. Even though he lives in a narrow and small space, Jack is a smart and active child. He learns many things from the old television in the room because he has never left in his life. Jack believes that everything on TV is not real, but some things feel real to him, like the mosquito that often bites him. Jack has never known that the world is wide and that other people exist beyond him and his mother. He thinks that everything on television is imaginary. The only real things are himself, his mother, and the objects in the room that he sees every day. To ease his loneliness, Jack has an imaginary dog named Lucky. Jack has never met Old Nick because his mother does not allow it. Joy teaches Jack that Old Nick is not his father, but a demon in human form who has hurt her all along. At night, when Jack is sleeping, Joy hides him in the closet so Old Nick will not see him. Even though Joy is exhausted by Old Nick's treatment, she has no choice and must do whatever he wants so she and Jack can survive. Every time Old Nick comes, he brings necessities for Joy and Jack. One night, he eats Jack's leftover birthday cake and asks Jack's age, but Joy does not answer, which makes him angry. Without his mother's knowledge, Jack often wakes whenever Old Nick arrives, so he hears their conversations. Old Nick does not forget to give his biological son a present. Jack is overjoyed and immediately opens it. He is so happy with the gift that he cannot stop playing with the toy cars. The next day, while lying on the floor, Jack sees a mouse wander into the room. Seeing it for the first time makes him feel happy and curious. He gives the mouse crumbs from his birthday cake. Suddenly, Joy sees the mouse and throws a book at it, causing it to run away. Jack becomes upset and wants to protest his mother. After that, he decides he will make the mouse his friend because he feels lonely with only the walls around him. One night, Jack peeks from inside the closet and sees Old Nick coming to his mother. Jack does not understand all their conversation and only knows that Old Nick brings supplies. However, an argument breaks out about the decreasing supplies and the lack of vitamins for Jack. Old Nick explains that he has not worked for 3 months. This leads to a fight that shocks Jack as he listens from the closet. Old Nick approaches the closet and tries to lure Jack out with candy, but Joy stops him and asks Old Nick to lie down with her. While they are asleep, Jack sneaks out of the closet and approaches his biological father out of curiosity. Jack keeps staring at Old Nick until he wakes and greets him. Joy immediately wakes and attacks Old Nick. In panic, Jack runs back into the closet, while an angry Old Nick smothers Joy with a pillow and threatens to stop giving them food. After old Nick leaves, Jack runs to his mother, crying and apologizing, and promises he will never come out again when old Nick comes. Joy hugs him tightly and tries to calm him. The next morning, Jack finds the room stuffy and the lights turned off. Old Nick has cut the power as punishment for Joy's behavior the previous night. Joy panics and tries to open the iron door, but her efforts are useless. In desperation, Joy tells Jack in simple language about the mouse he found and tries to explain that outside the room, there is a real world with sky, trees, fallen leaves, and even a mouse in the yard. Jack still refuses to believe her. Finally, Joy tells him how she met old Nick and became trapped in a room. Jack thinks it is only a fairy tale and asks her to tell the truth. Joy insists that everything she says is real, but Jack becomes angry and says he hates her. Joy explains that he is now 5 years old and must know the truth, whereas before he was too young to understand, so she had to lie. This leaves Joy even more frustrated and unsure how to convince him until they fall asleep while the heater shuts off and the power remains out. The next day, the lights come back on as a sign that old Nick is no longer angry. Jack wakes his mother, but Joy ignores him because she is overwhelmed and exhausted. Joy does nothing and stays in bed. Jack takes care of himself by brushing his teeth, preparing breakfast, and playing alone. Out of boredom, he destroys the toys old Nick gave him. Joy finally gets up and washes the dishes. While watching TV, Jack asks whether what he sees is real or fake. This makes Joy hopeful because Jack is slowly beginning to understand the outside world. Jack now starts to distinguish between what is real and what is imaginary. From that moment, Joy devises a plan to escape by manipulating old Nick, and Jack will help carry it out. Joy prepares hot water to rub on Jack, so he appears to have a high fever. At first, Jack is scared and does not want to do it, but Joy reassures him that this is their only chance to escape the room. Finally, Jack understands and follows all his mother's instructions. When old Nick arrives, Joy pretends that Jack is seriously ill and must be taken to the hospital immediately. Old Nick examines him and says it can be cured with medicine and leaves to get it, which causes the plan to fail. The next day, Joy creates a second and more extreme plan where Jack must pretend to be dead because he was not taken to the hospital. Jack is terrified, but Joy reassures him that he is brave and can do it. Joy gives him clear instructions that he will be wrapped in a carpet and old Nick will be asked to bury him properly. She tells Jack not to move until the right moment. Night falls and old Nick arrives and is met with Joy's hysterical cries claiming that Jack has died. Old Nick believes her and carries Jack wrapped in the carpet to his truck to bury him as requested. Joy instructs Jack to scream for help when the truck stops at a traffic light and to give someone the note she gave him. Inside the truck, Jack slowly unrolls the carpet and is amazed when he sees the blue sky for the first time in his life. After passing 3 traffic lights, Jack jumps out and falls, making a noise that alerts old Nick, who chases him, but is stopped by a man jogging with his dog. Old Nick grabs Jack, but the boy manages to ask the man for help, so old Nick lets him go and runs away. The man approaches Jack and helps him contact the police. Soon officers arrive and ask his name. Still in shock, Jack remains silent. The only word he says is Mom, meaning Joy, his mother. When the police ask where he lives, Jack says he lives in a room with his mother. He remembers that it is in a shed behind a house. A policewoman gently questions him and asks what the room looks like. Jack explains that there is only one window facing the sky. He also describes how the truck stopped 3 times at traffic lights before he jumped. Because of his explanation, the police understand and send a team to the location Jack described. The patrol car carrying Jack turns around and heads there. When they arrive, officers secure the house and rescue Joy. Joy and Jack reunite, and this time they are free, which is an emotional moment. The police take them to the hospital for examination and contact Joy's family. Nancy, Joy's mother, is overwhelmed with happiness when she hears that her daughter has been found. She immediately rushes to the hospital to see her daughter, who has been missing for 7 years. Robert, Joy's father, also travels from out of town to see her. Joy's parents are divorced, and Nancy now lives with her partner Leo. Because of their fragile condition, Joy and Jack must remain in the hospital for further treatment. Jack is still overwhelmed by the outside world he has just discovered. Amazed, he asks his mother if everything is real. Joy tells him that they're finally free and living in a real world surrounded by people who care about them. A doctor soon arrives to examine them. Jack remains shy and afraid of strangers. Eventually, Joy and Jack are allowed to go home. At home, they're welcomed by a small party prepared by Leo. Joy shows Jack her childhood room filled with memories. News of their rescue spreads, and media gather outside, wanting interviews. A television station requests to share Joy's story. At first, the family hesitates, but after consulting lawyers, they agree on the condition that sensitive topics are avoided. However, the interviewer asks painful questions about her captivity. When asked whether she will reunite Jack with his biological father, Joy firmly states that Jack belongs only to her. The interviewer then questions why she did not let the kidnapper take Jack outside to live normally, and this deeply wounds Joy. Her emotional state begins to decline, and she blames herself and argues with Nancy. Nancy insists she searched and grieved every day and never stopped hoping Joy was alive. Joy also struggles with Jack's difficulty adjusting socially. Nancy reminds her that healing takes time. One night, Jack hears his mother groaning in the bathroom. He finds her unconscious and calls for help. Joy had attempted suicide, but Jack saves her. Nancy and Leo rush in, and an ambulance takes Joy to the hospital. The next morning, Jack sits alone until Leo gently invites him to breakfast. They begin to bond, and Leo introduces his dog Seamus, which delights Jack because he always wanted a pet. Later, Joy calls and thanks Jack for saving her life again. Jack asks Nancy to cut his long hair, believing it will give his mother strength. He asks her to bring the hair to Joy at the hospital. Soon, a neighborhood boy invites Jack to play, and he begins living like a normal child. Joy recovers and returns home, and they embrace warmly. She apologizes, and Jack simply asks her not to do it again. Later, Jack asks to visit the room one last time. Joy hesitates, but agrees with a police escort. They return to Old Nick's house, where he has been arrested and imprisoned. The room feels smaller and emptier because some items were taken as evidence. Before leaving, Jack says goodbye to the bathtub, the sink, and the closet where he once slept. He asks his mother to say goodbye as well, and she does. The film closes on a note of resilience and hope. Room isn't just a story of escape. It's a study of how the mind protects what it loves. Jack survives through imagination. Ma shields through devotion. Trauma reshapes their reality. The skylight isn't just a window. It's a reminder that a bigger world exists beyond confinement. Every object, every routine becomes both safety and lesson. Freedom doesn't erase fear, it amplifies it. Love becomes both shield and weapon. Escape is just the beginning of understanding what captivity leaves behind. Flick fact number 1. Brie Larson won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her raw, emotionally stripped performance. Flick fact number 2. Director Lenny Abrahamson keeps the world intimate, confining, and raw. Every corner of the room counts. Room isn't about captivity alone. It's about resilience clawing its way out of trauma. Intimate, raw, and deeply human. The film traps its characters in a world where every object, routine, and imagination becomes both shield and survival tool. Escape isn't the end. It's the beginning of rebuilding identity. Love isn't comfort. It's strategy. It asks one brutal question. How far does the mind go to protect innocence? How far does a mother go to protect a child? On the Flick verdict scale, this is a must-watch. Heartbreaking, powerful, unforgettable. Not built for spectacle, but impossible to forget. Bottom line, this isn't just a story of survival. It's a study of humanity, resilience, and love forged in confinement, emerging reborn. Drawn to films where survival is forged in confinement, not spectacle, Flick Favorites breaks down the stories that linger, where trauma shapes identity, and love becomes both shield and strategy. Comment below. Could you protect hope in a world that small?